I hate rolling up onto these things. Today we're working on a 1995 Vauxhall Cavalier. I'm changing the crankshaft sensor. As you can hear there, it starts and runs perfectly fine. However, there are times that it doesn't. Sometimes it starts and stalls straight away, flashing ECU light. And usually you can turn the ignition off, turn it back on again, and it'll start right up. The problem with this, I've already had a look at, is the existing crankshaft sensor is the original, and the cable on it that runs back to the ECU, or indeed to the plug, is gone all brittle, presumably because of like well over 20 years of heat cycles. So that's what we're doing today. We're hopefully going to change that with a known good old one from a friend's car. It's an engine that he's actually scrapping. The engine in this is the X20XEV. It's the 2 litre 16 valve unit. Let's see how we get on. Okay, so the crank sensor lives somewhere down here. Here's the cable for it. I believe it runs down under this air conditioning bracket and the power steering pump. Follow the wires around, the connector goes down here. Now, as you can see, I've already had this apart and tried to bodge it. This was before Christmas. It's lasted, I suppose, quite well. It's cut out when trying to start once or twice. I've never actually had it cut out when the car's running. Here's the connector. Been driving around like this probably for the last 400 or 500 miles, something like that. It's just time to do it now. So what we're going to have to do is get this bracket out, I think. And to do that, I think we're going to have to take all this air filter box off. To gain us access to take this belt off, and therefore take the power steering pump off, which then enables us to take the bracket off, hopefully. To get us through to the sensor. Now, at the beginning of the video, I put this car on ramps. Probably don't need to actually do that because you can't actually get to anything from underneath. You've got the air conditioning pump in the way. In actual fact, I'll show you. So here we are underneath the car. There's the air conditioning pump there. This system doesn't actually work, it hasn't got any charge in it. Now if I can have a look up through there, I don't know whether you'll be able to see, I can't even see myself. I believe right through that, I could just about see it behind that bracket, I think. Let me see if I get you into a place where we can see. Struggling to see anything here. I believe it's just through that hole there that you can see in the centre of the screen. I'm trying to point, just in there somewhere. Still can't really see it very well. I'm going to take some of this stuff off and see what we can find. Right, so after getting a light and having a look myself, let's see if I can do this. Sorry about the shaky camera work here, guys. I'm trying to get the camera in the right position. It really is a pain. Right, now I don't know if you can see that wire there. That is where the crank sensor rather lives. Even the wires down to this don't look all that great, to be honest. Now, you won't be able to see this, but you can just about see the little bolt that holds that on there. I'm hoping I might be able to take this off without taking that bracket out. There might just be enough room. I'll see how I get on. Against my better judgment, I decided to take this exhaust off just to make it easier. I've squirted WD-40 on the bolts at the top, which I've left for all of 3 seconds, as you do. 3 of them have come loose. I've just now got this one up here that you can see on your screen to undo. They are a 13mm nut, 13mm bolt rather, and they require a fair bit of force to undo. So I'm going to need 2 hands for this, but I am going to try and set you up as best I can. Right, I don't know how much that is showing because I can't see the screen. Hopefully that's showing something. And we're out. Okay, 2 of the bolts are out now. The 2 on this side, that one's out, that one's out. These 2, that one there and that one there, are actually slotted, so you only need to loosen them off enough to slide it out. The rest of the nuts that we've got to undo, these seem to be 13mm so far. We've got a bracket here that holds this part of the exhaust on. We've got to undo these 2, which this contains here the fire ring. It looks like it was leaking anyway. If you look here, that's probably why I had a bit of an exhaust blow. Here we've got another 2 13mm nuts that we need to undo. You could just about see the other one just there. And then hopefully that's this exhaust out. Okay, those 13mm nuts are now undone. As you can see, it's on like a stud that goes through this thin plated bracket here. Something worthy of note though, there is an oxygen sensor here on this downpipe. If I could bring the light in, you can see right there. Just there. As you can probably see, the wire for that runs along there to that bracket there, which I'm going to undo, and then that comes, if we come out with me, to the top of the engine. So following that wire up from the top, from the bottom there, this is where it actually plugs into, just here. So I'm just going to disconnect that from here. It's just a simple lift and pull out connector. If I could do this single-handedly, probably not recommended. There we go. And what I'm going to do, as you can see, the wire just runs underneath there. I'm probably going to pull that little bracket off because it's probably easier than cutting that cable tie, to be quite honest, just purely because of where it is. Exhaust downpipe now out with 1 casualty. So I squirted a load of WD-40 on that just to let that actually soak in this time. But I'll be able to show you better where this sensor is. It's still not 100% clear. There it is, just there. That's how the price is out. This is what it's used to fasten in with. It is an E10 inverted torque socket. As you can see, this is what I mean about the old one. You can see there that the outer sheathing is just so brittle, it just crumbles apart. This is the part number here. I've cleaned it up as best I could. That's it actually shows up on better on camera than it does in in real life, so to speak. This is the replacement one that I'll be replacing it. This is from a friend of mine. Spud, if you're watching, thanks very much. This is a second-hand one. Hopefully that's the same part number, 9054, and we've got 9607. Oh dear. Well, we're this far. It's only the case of plugging it in and seeing if the car runs or not. So let's give that a try. Okay, that's the new sensor in. You can just about see there. Cable threaded up through the same route as it did before. Just through here. It was a bit of a pain getting through there, but it wasn't too bad. Up there. And plugged back in, which goes under the air intake here. Exhaust is still off at the moment, the exhaust downpipe. The O2 sensor is also disconnected, so we're going to give it a start. It's going to be extremely noisy. It ain't going to run for long. I'm not going to run it for long, just for the sanity of my neighbours, really. We'll probably get the ECU light come on for the O2 sensor, but let's give it a try. Ooh. Okay. Let's see what we got. The battery is a bit flat on this car, unfortunately. I'll call that a success. Here's the old fire ring. As you can see by the looks of that on the back there, it looks like it's been leaking exhaust gases. Unfortunately, I think I have a new one in stock that is the correct size. Yeah, that appears to be correct. This is a Euroflow branded part. That's the part number there. Can't remember exactly where I got it from. But anyway, they're very good for exhaust parts. What I'm going to do about this bolt, thankfully, what I've got here is a new set of springs and bolts to replace these ones. So there's nothing really wrong with this one, although as you can see this one is sheared off. So we have got those that we can use. They were going to be used on the Mark II Cavalier, however these were actually too big, but these seem to be the right size for this one. As for the exhaust gasket, I've chosen to reuse this one. There's nothing really wrong with it. I'm just going to clean all the mating surfaces up with a wire brush on the drill. Clean that one up as well. Oh, the sun's making it a bit difficult. There we go. I'll cut back to you when I've done that. Okay, so what I've decided to do, I'm going to cut this bolt flush with the flange here, drill and tap it. I seem to have the correct size tap to fit. I've just chased the threads on this one. That moves in and out easy enough. As a side note, I've cleaned all the faces, cleaned in there with a wire brush on my drill. So yeah, I'll cut back to you when hopefully I've got this bolt out of here. $1 mil. Let's try the next size up, 1.5, maybe that'll be a bit sharper. It's a bit more like it. You get the idea. So this hole didn't exactly go right down the centre, which is typical of doing it freehand, I suppose. I did find my set of easy outs that I'm going to give a try before going any further with this, and because it might have just relieved some pressure on that. I'll set you up and we give that a try. Sorry that this is so far away. I don't have a tripod. This is what you get for using cheap crap. No movement yet. If I carry on with this, I don't think this is going to end well. I use my drill to ream the hole out, so it's at least, it looks a bit straighter. I then ran my tap through. I don't know if you can see that. Got a load of crap out of there. That now turns really easily, so run that the rest of the way through. Now try my bolt. Let's have a look at these threads first. They seem okay, hopefully. That screws in nicely. A little bit on the loose side perhaps, but that's to be expected, I suppose. To be fair, the original side is a little bit tighter. So I'll get this back on. Whilst having a rummage, I found a new old stock gasket. There's the part number there, that's what it fits. It says Cavalier 2 litre, 1986 onwards. This is a 1995, as I said earlier. There's the old one, and it's absolutely identical. So I should get this exhaust back on now. I'm going to clean off some of these bolts. You don't need to see me do that. I'm just going to clean them up with a wire brush and some WD-40, and we'll get this back together, and I'll cut back to you when it's all back up and running, hopefully. There we are, all finished. Back together now. New gasket on the exhaust, on the downpipe there. New fire ring, new springs and bolts. All the bolts I've cleaned up with a wire brush and put some anti-seize on them. Never sneeze. Oxygen sensor reconnected, as can be seen here. Back on its little bracket down the bottom there somewhere. So it's a couple of years later, unfortunately. As you noticed, I recorded the first part of this video in March 2020, April 2020 even. It's now March 2022, and I never really recorded much of a conclusion on after I fitted the sensor. The sensor, unfortunately, as you see earlier in the video, was actually the wrong part number, and this gave me a problem with, although the car started towards the end of the video, it actually started only once or twice after that. The battery was weak at the time, so that probably didn't help, but it seemed like the timing was off. So on the compression stroke, it was actually trying to fire when the piston wasn't all the way up to top dead centre, and this actually kind of fired the mixture that was already there and actually stalled the starter motor as it was trying to start. So I opted for this Lee Mark sensor because it's very hard to get an actual sensor now that's correct for the car, a genuine GM one or a Bosch one or whatever. The model number for this is LCS230. This is actually a second one I bought, just simply because I didn't think it was going to be a lot of good. So I thought, well, I'll have a second one in case I have any issues with the first one. The good thing is I could give you a bit of a review, I suppose, about this. Although it's a non-genuine part, this was actually pretty cheap. It was £12, but over the 2 years and about 5,000 miles, I've not had a single issue with the last sensor. I let this train go past. I have been using the car today, so it's not a cold start, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll start it up and I'll let you have a listen. There you go, starts up fine. As I say, it's been running pretty well. So that's the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the subscribers that I've had. As I record this, I've got 162, and the feedback I've had from you guys has been pretty brilliant. So yeah, keep watching. As I say, I'm no expert, just trying to keep these old cars running. Do appreciate the old Vauxhalls, so yeah, stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.